Hello, Rhonda Kleeman first graders. This is Miss Yarborough, and this week we're doing Unit 27 in Letterland. And this week our words are going to be spelled with ED at the end. I want to start with our tricky words. We have of, wash, and friends. And we're going to look at our list A words. Before we go through and read those, I want to explain to you the story of these. So when I look at our two endings, they're both spelled with ED. But there are some words that it just sounds like dippy duck at the end. We don't hear the E. For example, we have the words smiled, waved, and closed. Notice when I say those words that all we hear is dippy duck at the end. Smiled, waved, closed. So when Eddie Elephant does the disappearing game in this ending, his sound disappears too. So if you look at these words, if we took the D away, we have words that have the silent magic E, and it makes these vowels, I, A, and O, turn into vowel men. Smiled, waved, closed. Okay. Then we also have some words you see over here. We have Eddie Elephant and Dippy Duck. Now, when we see this, there's can be three different sounds for ED. It can sound like ed, and then we also hear the D sound in these words. We also will hear some words that have the T sound at the end. But today, in this week, we're just going to focus on words that sound like D and then words that sound like ed. I'm going to read these words, and then I want you to notice how they sound like ed at the end. Hated, invited, skated. Say those with me. Hated, invited, skated. All right, let's read our list A words together. We have waited, mailed, played, needed, field, stayed, folded, rested, climbed, and showed. All right. Today you're going to be doing your word detectives. And for our word detectives, I've got a little color code up here. And you can use different colors. I'm going to be using yellow and green today. And we're going to look for our words that are spelled with ED at the end. And if they just sound like Dippy Duck at the end, we're going to make those yellow. If they sound like Ed at the end, we're going to make those green. Okay, I want you to listen as I read through this. You can read along with me, and then we're going to go back and we'll mark our words. Walter Walrus floated and dreamed in the cold water. Noisy Nick nailed boards and painted in his tree house. Let's focus on that first sentence. I want you to read it again with me. Walter Walrus floated and dreamed in the cold water. All right. So I'm going to use my yellow, and I'm going to look for the words that just sound like D at the end. Walter Walrus floated, no, and dreamed in the cold water. I hear in dreamed, it just sounds like D. All right. So I'm going to make sure we know it just sounds like dreamed. Now, the other word in that sentence that has ed is floated, and I hear ed at the end, so I'm going to make it green, and then we'll put ed there. Okay. In our next sentence, Noisy Nick nailed boards and painted in his tree house. Oh, I hear some words that we need to make yellow that just sound like D at the end. Noisy Nick nailed boards and painted in his treehouse. Okay. And I heard another word that had ed at the end. Noisy Nick nailed boards and painted. I hear it. All right, I'm going to make it green and put ed above it. All right. You take the time and do that as well.